and welcome to the Spice Drive, our family. Definitely the home of great entertainment. And here, everything nice. We're keeping it spicy.
Everything nice. So, and today in the studio we have a gentleman, a guest, anaelewa Kiswahili kidogo, lakini a man who is not new to this world, but a man who has been in the studios before, but not in Spice. But today we have him around. He's a gentleman all the way from Israel, but he represents Israel in Kenya. So I have Ambassador Gideon Behar. Ambassador, please salimia wananchi.
Jambo. Habari.
Tell them, how did you start learning Swahili, Ambassador?
Well, I really love people.
Yes.
And when you love people, you want to be able to communicate directly with them.
Yes.
And the most important thing is the language. So I speak 7 languages.
Yes.
And Swahili is my 8th one, number 8. And I've started to study Swahili by Zoom with a teacher, a very talented teacher called Emma, and later on Esther from Kenya. And I'm still studying. And I think that this is a great way to communicate with people. Ninapenda Kiswahili sana.
Asante sana. So, what other languages do you speak? Ngani?
Well, I speak Hebrew, of course, English. Because of my wife, I speak also Dutch. I speak German.
Ooh.
I speak Arabic. Actually, I speak several dialects of Arabic.
They're different.
Well, there are different kinds of Arabic. So I speak the Jewish dialect of Baghdad.
Yes.
Because my mother was born there in Baghdad, so I do speak a little bit of it.
Yes.
I used to serve also in Tunisia, so I speak the Tunisian dialect. I was there for 4 years.
Yes.
And in school I learned literary Arabic, so I speak this one as well. I do speak French. I really love French.
Yeah.
And what more? Wolof. Wolof is the national language
of Senegal.
Of Senegal. I was ambassador to Senegal for 5 years.
Yes.
And I really loved Senegal.
Yeah.
And I was the only ambassador then to speak Wolof. So I used to give interviews on Wolof, speeches on Wolof, to communicate with people on Wolof. And I really hope that I will be able to do that in Kiswahili.
We hope so, man.
Pia hapa katika Kenya.
Kataichi Kenya.
And no doubt, speaking Wolof, because I've listened to some Senegalese stations, and it's quite a mouthful. I don't know how you're able to gamble that, because if you come and listen to the Kenyan dialect, you'll realize that a lot of us do the fast thinking in the head before we translate it in the mouth. So we do a lot of translation. So with all these languages that you have been speaking, how are you able to translate it so fast and take it down to your mouth? Because if you speak to a Kenyan and he's thinking in Swahili, and then he speaks to you in English, it's definitely going to sound different.
Yes, it is. But I'll tell you a secret. The secret is that you have to practice, and you have to love a language, and you have to listen to how people are speaking.
Yes.
And to be like them.
Yes. So have you ever dreamt in Swahili? Or Wolof?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because that is when you realize that you know.
You're right.
So, but now, Ambassador, what apart from what you speak, you've been to Kenya now how many months?
I've been to Kenya now a little bit more than 3 months. I've arrived in the middle of August.
Middle of August.
Yes.
So you came here during the intense of the war in the Middle East.
That's right.
Yes. So what do you think is, before we move on to the geopolitics of that area, the connection between Kenya and Israel is very deep. And we have a long-standing relationship which spans into many years. You remember the raid of Entebbe. It was Kenyan government which aided the Israeli, and especially to the landing of and the jetting and the planning was done here. So is there, as your role, do you think that relationship will sustain or will take it a notch higher? Yeah.
Maybe I'll answer in Kiswahili.
Yes.
Katika Israel na Kenya iko uhusiano mrefu na mzuri sana.
Yes.
Uhusiano kihistoria na kibiblia.
Yes.
Kama balozi mpya wa Israel katika nchi ya Kenya, ninataka kuende mbele katika maeneo kama maji, kama ukalima, kama nguvu, kama food security, kama afya na elimu. Kwa sababu iko pahali mkubwa kwa kuende pamoja. The relationship really between Israel and Kenya are very good relationship, and they are based, in my opinion, on true friendship that you see with everyone that I meet. It's just everywhere that I go and I say I'm from Israel, people immediately, they have something positive to say about Israel. They raise the issue about Israel. They quote the Bible. They try to even speak a little bit of Hebrew if they know. So the basic is there, and the relationship that we have, as I said, they are long relationship. Since the independence of Kenya, Israel has been very active in Kenya in different development areas. Whether it's agriculture, whether it's cyber security, whether it's water and energy and education and health and more and more and more. So we are, for us, Kenya is a very important partner, and we would like to carry on this very long friendship which exists between two countries, two nations, and two peoples. And this is very important for us.
Kenyans consider Israel, and when you go to churches, they pray for Israel a lot. I don't know what connection they have with the prayers, but I think it's a Bible. It's a Bible.
Yes.
And one of the biggest achievement is to go to Israel. If you are a Christian, you want to go to the footsteps of Jesus Christ and see this is where he walked. This is, you see, they read the verses and they see this is the area where there's Jesus walked. So I think that's because Kenya is a secular state, but mostly 97% are Christians. So there's affinity to that. But maybe you tell us Israel's outlook in Middle East. What's up with what next after the Gaza conquest, or what's happening in Gaza? What do you take?
Okay, so there is a ceasefire now, an agreement that was brokered by the United States President Donald Trump, which ended the war, and now the international force, which is supposed to take care of Gaza, is being assembled, and plans are being made how to govern Gaza, how to reconstruct Gaza, and how to make sure that Gaza will not be again a threat to Israel, a security threat. And this is something that we really must understand. As long as Hamas is there, Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, and as long as Hamas holds the reins of power in its hands and is building its capacities there, it remains a threat to Israel. And according to the ideology of Hamas, Israel has no right to exist. If you read the charter of Hamas, there is no Israel there. So we want to live in peace with our neighbors, and we want to see the expansion of the Abraham Accords, these accords that put us together with countries like the Emirates, like Morocco, Bahrain, etc. We want to see them expanded to more Arab countries in the Middle East. Saying that, we must make sure that there are no security threats to Israel and that we eliminate the threat of a new eruption of violence. And this is by having a different administration in Gaza, a force that will replace Hamas, that will eliminate this risk of war. So we are really very hopeful and very thankful also to the President of the United States that brokered this agreement. And we really hope that peace will come to the Middle East and that there will be the possibility of living together in harmony and peace.
This living together in harmony and peace, and we would hope so, but is there any possibility of a two-state then between Palestine, because Gaza has its own area? Do we have in future where we'll have Palestine on its own area and then the Israel in one area, and without Hezbollah coming in to attack?
Exactly. The issue of the political agreement is something that we really have to negotiate together directly between Israelis and Palestinians. You mentioned also the issue of Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a very devastating terrorist organization. And indeed, Hezbollah, after Israel was attacked on the 7th of October, Hezbollah immediately joined hands and started to shoot at Israel and to throw rockets. Dozens of thousands of rockets and shells were fired on Israel, and 200,000 people in the northern part of Israel had to be evacuated because the danger was so real. And indeed we see that there are some very negative forces in the Middle East. We have mentioned before Hamas, you have mentioned Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a really extremist organization which holds Lebanon hostage. We know for sure that most Lebanese want peace with Israel, want to live in peace with Israel and rebuild their country, which is in ruins for already few decades. And by having peace with Israel, this will be possible. But the problem is this organization, Hezbollah, which is now in the process of rebuilding its military capacities, rebuilding its ballistic missile capabilities, drones capabilities, etc. And the Hezbollah organization is being aided by, we know whom, by Iran. They supply Hezbollah with missiles, with training, with money, etc., in order to make it a proxy in a war against Israel. So if we want to see a peace in the Middle East, a lasting peace in the Middle East, Iran must stop its delivery of arms, its delivery of money and weapons, etc., to these terrorist organizations in the Middle East. And these terrorist organizations must disarm and give back the power to their government, to the Palestinian Authority in the case of Hamas, to the Lebanese government in the case of Lebanon, etc.
So you've touched about the proxy war, and I'd like to go to the proxy war between Israel and Iran, where the Hezbollah are being funded by the Iranians, but Israel has been trying to incapacitate Iran. What is the extent of that?
Well, Iran is a huge threat for Israel, but not only to Israel, but to other countries in the Middle East and around the world. Iran is building a nuclear program. They want to have a nuclear bomb. And they are also building a ballistic missile program, so they will be able to launch these bombs, and they are a threat to Israel. I know it's very difficult for people to understand that. When you live in a country and you don't have enemies that say, okay, we want to eliminate you completely, or you don't have a right of existence, etc. But this is exactly what Iran is saying. Iran is saying Israel is illegitimate, we have to erase it from the map, we have to throw all the Jews to the sea, etc., etc. And when they are having this ideology and this policy, and it is backed by nuclear program and by ballistic program, and when they support and sustain so many terrorist organizations around the Middle East that attack and attacked Israel, like Hamas, like Islamic Jihad, like Hezbollah, like the Houthis in Yemen, and also by bringing Shiite militias from all corners of the earth to Syria and to Iraq to build another front against Israel, we know that their intentions are serious. And in June last year, we felt that there is no other option but to prevent the build-up of Iran military and nuclear capacities, and went on preemptive attack. But let us remember that few months before that, it was Iran who launched a grand attack against Israel with hundreds of ballistic missiles and drones, etc. So we were really under attack and threat from them, and for us it's a matter of life or death. We had really to protect ourselves.
Wow.
So how long do you think it will take them, or how well are you going to protect? The Iron Dome was breached this time round for the first time, or was it just rumors from the press?
Well, Israel has several anti-missile defense systems that were working very good, but you never have 100% protection. And indeed, we had many casualties in Israel because of and lots of damage because of missiles that were fired from Iran against the urbanic centers of Israel, the cities of Beersheba, of Tel Aviv, of Haifa, etc. When Israel attacked in Iran, it didn't attack civilians. All the attacks were against people from the military or military installations. Iran, on the other hand, targeted Israeli civilians and Israeli hospitals and Israeli cities, and we saw the result, because the people who died by the attacks of Iran were only civilians.
And now you paint a picture of a nation that is probably constantly under threat because of the people that are coming against pushing uprising against your country, and you're fairly a small country, probably the population of about maybe 10 million. So what would you credit how your long-standing endurance, despite all these constant attacks? Is it because do you credit the military strength by Israel?
Well, I will tell you something. We know that the best strategy is to have peace. Okay, this is the best strategy, The best defense will not stop finally the most
sophisticated
aggressive enemy, okay? So the best strategy to live in the region is to have peace with everyone. And we are having already peace agreements with Jordan, with Egypt. We have good diplomatic ties with Morocco, with Bahrain, with the United Arab Emirates, and we want to expand this. The issue is that there are negative forces in the region, which I've mentioned before, and these are extremists. I mean, sometimes you cannot resonate with people who want to completely destroy you. That's why we need to build coalitions and to be friends with others who are also threatened by these organizations in the Middle East. And I think the proof was, the war was 2 years long, and despite the intensity of this war, not even a single Arab state broke diplomatic ties with Israel. Why? Because they understood that we are doing also their war, and we are also fighting against their enemies, and that Hezbollah and Hamas and these organizations are threatening their stability as well.
So and there's this the fight which and the war between Israel and Gaza. It was started from the Gazans.
That's right, by Hamas.
By Hamas in Gaza.
Yes.
And it was a retaliation. And do you think that you've neutralized the threat as you speak?
Well, we are not sure. That's why we want, our conditions are that Gaza Strip will be demilitarized,
Yes.
that Hamas will not hold weapons anymore and will not be in power anymore.
Yes.
These are the conditions to ensure stability and peace in the region. You know, prior to the attack that happened on the 7th of October, 2023, and let us remember what it was, you know, it was a holiday in
Yes.
Israel.
Yeah.
And all by a sudden, 6:30 in the morning, thousands of terrorists crossed the borders on land, by air, by sea. They've captured dozens of settlements and kibbutzim, invaded military bases and etc., kidnapped hundreds of people, killed 1,200 people. This was a huge shock. And it happened because in the past, okay, Hamas built its capabilities, built its power. They have assembled huge arsenals of missiles, of rockets, they've trained their soldiers. They got lots of help from Iran, okay, on that. So if we want stability in the Middle East, Iran must stop interfering, arming, equipping, financing Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, the Houthis, and other these kinds of organizations in the region, and they have to disarm. And it's in the benefit of the nations of the region. I mean, look at Lebanon. Most of the Lebanese want to get rid of Hezbollah. When I speak to Lebanese, and I do occasionally meet them, they tell me that they suffer a lot from Hezbollah. They want Hezbollah to be removed. Believe me, there is so much that can be done in the Middle East when these organizations are not there, are not in control, are not having weapons, are not destabilizing the region. The region can be flourish. I want to say something else. Previous to my job here, I was Israel's special envoy for climate change and sustainability. And one of the main goals that I had was to create regional climate resilience. The Middle East is very prone to climate change. Today, as we speak, there is a horrendous drought in the Middle East. Horrendous, terrible drought. Very soon, there will be no more water in Syria and Lebanon, in Jordan, in Iraq, in Iran, and elsewhere. As we are speaking, water resources are dwindling, and this will have a huge toll on food security, on the livelihood of people in the Middle East. And my goal was to create a regional plan to combat climate change. And we can do it together. And this should be our main focus. So I really hope, you know, that we will come to deal with that we will be able to create regional water systems, for instance. The countries of the Middle East need Israeli expertise in agriculture, water, renewable, recycled water, desalination, etc. It's really, this is something that they desperately need, and we want to export it, to share the knowledge with them. And we are talking about some of the richest countries on earth, the Gulf states, we can really work together. Imagine what we can do if we bring Israeli know-how and expertise with all the financial resources of the Middle East. We can transform the Middle East and we can make it resilient to climate change. And I'm really talking very honestly. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, and I really love about what you've touched on, climate change. This year, I was in June. I was in Hamburg, Germany, during the World Sustainability Conference. I was moderating one of the sessions on the World Bank. And we discussed many issues, and I like what you've touched about. And the Middle East was a very serious problem on the international stage, because we are seeing that, the way you're saying, the water sources are drying up because of the climate change, and it affects across the globe. So if you lived in Baghdad, maybe, and that you talked about the threat between Iran has caused. Do you think that breaking up Iran would be a solution?
I think that what we need is to see a change in policy in Iran. Iran mustn't be a regional threat. Iran is a threat not only for Israel, it's a threat to its region, and it wants to export its revolution, okay? Once this is stopped, we can really build a relationship again. I want to remind you that till 1979, till the Iranian Revolution, Israel and Iran were very close friends and allies.
Extremely, yes.
We cooperated on anything. So this regime must stop.
Before the Ayatollah came into power.
Sorry?
Before the Ayatollah came into power.
Yes.
And the revolution guard.
Yes. Yeah. You know, we have no problem with the Iranian people.
Yeah.
The problem is with the Iranian regime. This is the problem. They are the problem, not the people. People are very nice people. They suffer a lot. Persian civilization is one of the oldest in the world and one of the most respected one. The problem is not with the simple people that suffer. It's with a regime which is very aggressive, very extremist, and doesn't want to, to stop.
Thank you, Bwana Ambassador. Tutarudi baada ya muda kidogo. Wacha tusome habari and then